Hello, my absolutely beautiful Taurus friends, and welcome to your horoscope for November of 2023, where Taurus this month, the real situation is that you have done some really big work over this last 18 months. We just had the last eclipse in October in your sign. So Taurus, for you, a lot has been changing. You have, your body has, your mind has, your money has, your relationship has been under some direct pressure to change. And so I really want to take a minute to say, I see you, I hear you, I'm a Taurus, but I want to acknowledge this energy with you. And there's been this really direct energy with Scorpio, the other side, the opposite of the axis, and genuinely your relationships and who you're connected to, how you're connected to them, many different moving pieces that even connect you to relationships have really been ongoing and been put into positions to do a lot of changing. And as we roll into November, there's a bit of tension that we're going to see at the beginning of the month. And there's also the sweetness that comes with it, which is there's going to start to be some resolution to plans, conversations you were having, anything that has been activated between really June and now, you're going to start to get a little bit of answer. There's going to start to be a little bit of calm. At least that's what the astrology shows. And it's really a good omen too, that I think with Jupiter going through Taurus and obviously in your sign, it's helping you to use wisdom that you already have in your back pocket or that you have developed over this handful of months. And you're able to bring some things, you're able to make that contract, sign that deal, have that conversation, actually make a decision and feel solid about what it is that you're choosing to do and move things forward. So I think that that is really phenomenal energy that we can be looking for. Now, I do want to give you a heads up at the beginning of this reading. The first 10 days, I think, of November are times that I would really like you to this month to pay a little bit of attention. And it's really just because Mercury and Mars are going to be in opposition to your sun through these first 10 days. And so this can be, the first 10 days of November, you're like, wow, this energy might be feeling a little bit heavier, or it's a little bit more serious in terms of what you're thinking, doing, conversations that you're having. But that energy will move on. As well, we're going to have Saturn coming direct at the beginning of the month. So within that first 10 days, and the stationary time can just be a little weird, can just be a little wonky. So just be mindful in this first, little bit of the month is where I'd like you to take a little bit of extra care and attention for yourself. Because the energies are shifting, they are changing. It is moving us into a new season, a new energy. So it does need a little bit of our attention. Okay, Taurus, let's jump in here and make sure we are seeing what's on the general landscape. Before we jump into all of the goods for November, remember your digital transit calendars from our friends at Wise Skies Collective are now out for 2024. And if you use my code, which is in the description box, you can get a $10 off code so that you can have a little discount on your digital transit calendar. And that calendar goes with me all year, everywhere. Tiffany, Celeste, they are absolutely phenomenal women. So make sure that you check it out and get it in your resource and toolkit as well. We've got an opportunity for you in the description box down below to take advantage of having readings. Maybe you need charts. I've got new teenager charts that are out and an entirely new digital store. So whatever you need in terms of astrological resources and whatever your budget point is, I've got astrology resources that can serve you. So make sure you check everything out in the description box down below. All right, right at the beginning of the month, Taurus, on the 4th, we've got Saturn coming direct in the energy of Pisces. Now, Saturn turned retrograde June 17th at 7 degrees of Pisces. So make sure you're locating this in your personal chart, okay? And now as Saturn is coming direct here on the 4th, it's back to the 0 degrees of Pisces. So one of the places that you can go immediately into your personal life is back to the end of March when Saturn moved into the energy of Pisces. And what started happening for you, right? What was coming to your attention where it's like, you got to stop talking about that. You have to be about it. You can't be 1 foot out, 1 foot in. You've got to really get in and start being about this. These are the things, and they might have gotten a little uncomfortable, or you were trying to trust your intuition and things were coming to the surface. You were trying to demonstrate mastery. And now as Saturn has had this retrograde, you really see what you needed to work on. In the general, this was in your 11th house. So this is the house of friends, social groupings, organizations, your tribe, and who you're connected to. Now in modern day age, we like to look at it in terms of social media as well. So anything happening in your social networking zone, this could have been something that your attention was absolutely being brought to. The other thing that I think of in terms of this 11th house, really, truly, Taurus, if there were groupings that you no longer feel like you can serve or are serving you, that you need to be detached from, I think that the Saturn energy would have helped you feel the weight of understanding why carrying that with you too much longer is not going to work. So as Saturn is direct here and we move forward, you have a real opportunity to say, okay, I got to put on my big Taurus undies and go out here and have a conversation and make a decision about either keeping and really committing to this particular thing in my life or being serious enough to understand that I don't want to navigate this anymore and let it go. So here's an awesome opportunity for you to connect with whatever's happening in that social zone, to include hearing from old friends or people that you were socially connected with. When we get to November 8th, we've got Venus, your ruling planet, moving into the energy of Libra, which is the other planet that it rules. So Venus is very, very comfortable here. Now, this lights up for you, Taurus, this 6th house space of health, wellness, daily routine. And I like to include mental health and wellness in there. Now, in the 6th house, another view that I love to take from this perspective, besides just animals and being of service and these kinds of things, is that if you are self-employed or you own a business, this can be a wonderful time for attracting in. Venus is an attracting in energy where it's easier to find a deal. It's easy to find that ideal employee. It's easier to have a contract come your way, right? And you also maybe will feel a little bit more comfortable with taking on some kind of longer term commitment. You understand the terms, you understand the thinking, you're very able to see diplomatically how this can be value-based, beneficial to all parties involved. Now, for some people, I do think Venus is still Venus. So Venus is coming into a Libra energy. So for some of you, it is possible that a relationship goes to the next level. And while I don't typically think of the 6th house in this way, Libra energy sometimes is like that. You've been working with somebody for a very long time. They've been a coworker and finally someone asks someone out or something like that. So it is very much so a possibility that that kind of sweetness could be rolling to your table as well. When we get to the 10th, we've got Mercury entering into the energy of Sagittarius. So we're starting to get this little bit of like this little blow of energy that's like, whoa, okay, hold on. Sagittarius energy, I'm thinking bigger. I'm thinking, beyond my horizon. What's my great adventure? What truths don't I know? And you're ready to make bigger plans. You're ready to see a future that's bigger, that's brighter, that maybe you couldn't envision. The other part of Mercury and Sagittarius is that I like it in terms of going, okay, what's the big picture that we're going for? Because Taurus, it's very easy for you to be in the day-to-day of things. This is what I'm doing. This is how I'm plodding along, right? But I think Taurus, when you are handed a map or a vision to the bigger picture, it's really actually productive for you to figure out what you have that is or is not a resource to continue to move you towards that and to make some plans to do so. I absolutely love that about Taurus energy. Now, in the general, this lights up your 8th house space, okay? So we're talking about this beautiful space of intimacy, of assets. So things connected to you and your partner's money, how you collaborate money or resources, healing, sex, astrology with other human beings. This is a time where you're making a plan. Now, the 8th house here, Mercury and Sagittarius, Taurus, if you need to detox absolutely anything, this is the time to gather your information, do your research, have conversations, and get prepared to make the commitment to do so. So if you need to detox your body, are you finding out that through somatic experiences, you've got trauma responses stuck in your body? Are you holding them in the back of your neck, your shoulders, your hips? Where are you holding it? If this is a time that you are finding out you need to detox financially, you need to pay down debt, you need to detox poor behavior, behavior in relationships? Is there healing that's happening? Whatever it is, this Mercury and Sag energy is optimistic, it's hopeful, and hope means hearing other people's experiences. So you just might need a little bit of guidance, so enjoy taking the reins with that. Now on November 13th, we've got the new moon happening in Scorpio. So this is again going to light up your 7th house space. We've been in this axis for the last 18 months. You know about the me and we dynamics, right? Now this particular new moon at 20 degrees of Scorpio is also going to be conjunct Mars, so it's going to be conjunct one of its ruling planets, and it is opposing Uranus. So one of the things that comes to mind for me immediately in your relationship zone is that Scorpio is such a deep and intense energy. And those are not words that are bad or dark, okay? Scorpio does it all. It's deep passion. It's deep desire. It's the level of intimacy that goes beyond, flipping our hair or getting through the first 7 years of partnership. You're in the good stuff. You're getting down to the nitty gritty, and that's where the real nuggets of intimacy live. It is the hard conversations that lead to beautiful new transformations that are for the better as you move forward, right? Because through the depth of Scorpio energy, we're not dealing with things that are temporary. They're going to be things that have a deeper, lasting impact on us, okay? So as this particular new moon where we're planting our seeds of intention, you want to begin something new here in your relationships. What is it? Whether it is your marriage partnerships, your romantic partnerships, your business partnerships, you and a higher power, you and your body. What is the better relationship that you're like, I got to get to the nitty gritty and let a transformation come in here? Now, with this moon in that conjunction to Mars, it's like you're feeling it. I want to take some action. What can I do? What can I do? I need to rebel. I need to do something big, right? And in that opposition to Uranus too, what can happen here is that you're like, I have to completely redo everything. And I want to tell you that that may not be true. What you're working with may be sufficient, especially if you can put all of your cards on the table in a relationship, really reveal who you are, what you're doing, how you're showing up, not the niced up version, the just truth. How are you doing paying your bills? How are you doing in your intimate life? Answer those questions and put your cards on the table. And then instead of being an explosion of, oh my gosh, I have to change everything, this Uranian energy can be this beautiful suggestion of, we can take this new beginning, and instead of being crazy and erratic, we can innovate, right? I'm challenged in an opposition to innovate, maybe even in your relationships, because this is a new moon. It is a partner challenging you, Taurus, to innovate the way that you have done or the way that you have thought about something. There's a lot of intimacy work going on, but it is all for the benefit of mastering a skill here, okay? On the 22nd now, we've got the sun entering into the energy of Sagittarius, again lighting up the 8th house space. On the 24th, we'll see Mars coming into Sagittarius. So it is a whole 8th house dynamic party. The adventure, the expansion, new experiences, they are on for you, but the energy is focused here, especially by the time we get to the 24th, because Mars moving into this Sagittarian energy is going to take something in a different direction. And it's going to say, no, this is where I have the desire to make changes. And to make the changes, I'm taking action to actually allow that to happen. So if you need to pay off debt, if you need to find that loan, if you need to do the taxes, the estate planning, this is your time, okay? So as we're closing out the month on the 27th, we've got a full moon happening at 4 degrees of Gemini, lighting up your 2nd house, okay? Now, the full moon is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to adjust it. And to make those adjustments and course corrections, we are under all of the lights. So think about walking into a room and there's no lights on. You don't know what's there. You have a sense, but you don't really know. And so you're trying to feel around. The full moon is quite the opposite. You walk into the room, they flip the light switch on, you can see what's what. So under this particular energy, with your money, your creative talents you use to make money, your self-worth, it is all out on the table right now so we can see it. So one of the things I want to suggest to you is at this particular full moon, because it is an emotional moon, And if you're learning something, or you have said earlier in the month, you know, I have this desire to clean up debt or to learn about this or to heal myself, keep in mind that AI is listening very well, and it's a very Gemini feature. So sending you lots of ads, lots of information for anything you looked up. You know what I mean? You look up onions and now you know how to have a garden of onions. So be careful with it, because what it can also do is stir you into this place where you're like, oh, I need to spend money. And then you're in an overspending mode that actually didn't come out of a place of mastery. Yes, I need this tool or this product. It's simply because it was really put conveniently in front of you, okay? Don't underestimate your ability to be manipulated by what you're around in terms of where it connects with the smaller mind. Gemini, it's easy to be distracted, okay? Now, we've also got to consider that at this particular full moon, we've got an opposition with Mars and the Sun that are, of course, over in Sagittarius, but now it's squaring to Saturn. So stay on track if you can, right? If an ad or if somebody presents something to you and it sounds good, listen to where it actually serves you and your willingness to engage it. Because at the full moon, yes, there needs to be an adjustment of ideas. I need to get a plan in place. I need to, even if it's a short-term plan, I need to get something in place, but it needs to be specific. And there needs to be kind of some emotion, because this is a full moon, behind the plan that I'm making. Because if I just buy the, monthly budgeting notebook because it's pretty, but I don't actually understand square to Saturn that I've got to get mastery over this money or it's going to have mastery over me, then you see what I mean? The emotional connection is not there. So instead, at this particular full moon, make your plans, see where you have this emotional connection to them so that you don't have a world outside of you just pulling you by your mind, instead of having the mind and heart connection that this moon can actually bring really wonderful changes to. All right, my absolutely beautiful Taurus friends, I hope you have a gorgeous month. Please let me know how these things are playing out for you in the comment section down below. And if you want to learn more about how your month can really be shaped, how to get into the nitty-gritty of things, make sure that you stick along with me weekly as we cover the weekly trends that are going on every week on this channel. Have a good month, Taurus.